What's going on, guys? Welcome to Game of the Month, our new show where we play a game at the beginning of the month, picked at random, and then we play it throughout the month, and then we talk about it on this show. Hopefully, you guys had a chance to play Deathtrap. It was our game for January, and yeah, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And with every iteration of it, we pick a new Game of the Month. So what is our Game of the Month for February?
February is Ark.
Ooh, that's really weird because I started playing that a little bit at the beginning of this month.
And I figured out the server stuff.
Yeah, so we are ready to play Ark. Hopefully you guys are as well. You guys got any opinions on this?
We haven't played since like very, very early access of the game. So
When the game came out. Yeah.
So it'll be all new actually, so it'll be cool.
Chris?
I've never played it, but I've watched a lot of people play it way back in the day. I think my brother Frank has it.
Yeah.
And all I remember is it took like literal days to tame some of the bigger creatures in it.
I think they fixed that, but yeah. Or adjusted that.
Well, now it has a bunch of stuff too you can adjust. You can literally make it so it's like easier, so we can really play any way we want to play.
Yeah.
I'm really just kind of more curious about the survival and building aspects of it, but I do like the whole danger of the dinosaurs, and I did kind of like the idea of having to invest a lot of time in something because it makes it feel more worth it once you get it. But yeah, I'm excited to play this as well. I'm excited for you to play it, Chris, because I think you might dig it. It's you're the aesthetic whore, so you'll be able to build some cool little houses and look certain ways. So
I'm gonna build Jurassic Park.
you can. The game allows you to do a lot of shit. But yeah, we will be playing Ark. I almost said Deathtrap throughout February. Hopefully, you guys will too, and we'll be talking about it. But yeah, this episode we're talking about Deathtrap, which for people who did not play it. Quick reminder also, we did a stream of that a while back, so if you want to watch that, feel free to do that. It is an isometric game where you play as one of three classes. You have a warrior, a sorceress, and a marksman. You can probably guess what those do. And yeah, you build up those characters by killing things. There's skill trees, you level up, and there is also traps to put in your death trap. You can put those down like a tower defense, and you essentially defend a point that they are all attacking. If the point is depleted, you lose, just like any other tower defense. But yeah, it has a very good hybrid of the two. So it's pretty much two games in one.
And loot.
And loot, a bunch of loot that you can buy and find in chests, bonus chests as well. There's random bosses, side bosses on maps that you can go kill and get extra loot. What do we think of Deathtrap?
I mean, obviously we put this on our back burner list because it's a game we played before and we wanted to revisit. So,
And for the record, me and you played it quite a bit
over 40 hours
before we replayed it again.
So, I'll knock out the negative aspect first. At some point during patching the game and whatnot, they had done something to it that made a lot of people's audio drivers not work with it. And I just happen to be one of those people. So I have no sound when I play the game, which is kind of a bummer. But at the same time, it isn't like dire. I didn't need it. I do enjoy having my sound, obviously, but it wasn't hugely important to play this game.
That would mean Crisis and Ark. An update came out and like it started getting like crackly and stuff. The thing that was weird about Crisis, I'm bringing up an old game, I know, but like even when it was weird how the audio was directly connected to the game itself, because whenever the audio would crack, the game would lag, and it was a direct issue with the sound drivers, and they never fixed it. I played it years later on the same PC, and it still had issues. So it's weird they never fixed that. And then with Ark recently, I played it, had audio issues, but there was a fix for it, luckily. So
good.
I'm ready for next month.
Yeah, I tried the fixes for Deathtrap, and there was nothing there. And I also saw specifically in the community group on Steam, the devs had responded to people on it and said they were trying to.
So at least they're there.
Yeah,
they're aware of it. So aside from a bug, which hopefully you guys aren't experiencing, what'd you think?
No, it's a great game. I love I think they nailed the hybrid perfectly. It feels like a tower defense game. It feels like a Diablo type game, and I think they marry together quite well. I especially like how even though there's only three classes, because there are three types of skill trees essentially on each character, you can all be playing the same class, and one person could be more focused on their character,
which I
one
love.
person could be more focused on traps, another person more on passives. I could play a sorceress that does ice. You could play one that does fire. You know, and it really adds a lot of flavor to the game. I think the maps and stuff like that are all well designed. They provide, even coming back to it, you know, there's still a nice level challenge there. Yep. They did really good job on the balance, I think. I also think having the little side objectives is great too, because it gives you something that makes you go away from your defense for a moment to essentially be greedy. And I think it's perfect because you know, especially in the case of like, you know, when me and you were playing it a lot, it just is another thing, especially when you get more confident in like your ability to at least slow them down long enough to go do that and whatnot.
Yeah, it's part of the strategy.
Yeah, and strategy is a big key factor in this game, which is great. A lot of tower defenses, especially when they were booming there for a while, are kind of lazy about that. You could set up a couple traps, just level them up a couple times, and then just not play anymore. I don't feel like that can happen in this game. You have to participate. So
definitely, it has a good balance of your involvement and your traps involvement, and then once you get to a point under good strategy, you can kind of build that quintessential death trap that will keep enemies dying on a certain lane, which is always a strategy I like to use in games like this.
Yeah, but they only give you enough resources to kind of keep it to one lane. You can't do it on the whole map. It's impossible.
No, for sure. So. And I've played so many tower defenses to the point of like addiction, and like got every single map down to the point where like it's like a fine oiled machine and there's no way anything's getting through ever. I could literally put it on fast forward ×4 and walk the fuck away from the game and know that there's no way they will ever get through it. So a game like this, I do appreciate that if I do have to be clicking around and using a character, my involvement is needed, regardless if 100%. I do. And the balance is great because I don't get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm just destroying the map with all my traps, but I do get the satisfaction that in a game that I'm already trying to win and I'm being challenged in, I have one of the like 3 lanes locked down, which is a huge accomplishment. It always feels great. That's my favorite thing about tower defenses, is getting it down to a point where people walk in and they don't walk out, no matter what. Yeah, it's just cool to see even a big dude walk into an area and like you're seeing his health slowly go down, and then you just kind of see it halfway and you're like, there's no way you're gonna get through, and it's satisfying. Yeah, and this game does that really well. Yeah, Chris.
I really couldn't get into this game too much. I tried really hard to play it, but I think tower defense games are not my draw as far as gaming goes. I've tried really hard to get into several, and it just never really clicks too well for me. I find it tedious personally. Overall, the game though has gameplay-wise, it's really well done. It is a good marriage between Diablo and a tower defense game, with the loot and the side quests and things like that. But I just couldn't stick with it. I just couldn't. I tried so hard, and it could be just that I've played too much Diablo, and just tower defenses don't click with me. So it could just be an off time for me.
Definitely. You got to play this with people too, though, because the game I can play by myself because I like tower defense, and Diablo, but when you play with other people, it's fun to, as long as you're playing with people who aren't just like not communicating. Because one thing I don't like about like co-op tower defenses is people who are just like off on their own, just kind of building shit without talking. Because I'm like,
especially if you have a shared resource.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is a strategy game, dog. Like you can't just be doing your own thing. Because now if I do my own thing, there could be a huge hole in our defense.
Dungeon Defenders is a good example of that, actually.
Yeah. So, and I've played plenty of co-op tower defenses where people do shit like that, and I'm just like, this is more of a headache because we're not going to win now. But it's a game that you definitely want to play co-op because it's really satisfying. Me and Shelby played quite a bit, and it was really fun. I could go back and play it right fucking now. So you should still probably give it a chance, co-op, but I can see where you're coming from, especially if you're coming into this on the more Diablo side, since you said you're not particularly too into tower defense. It's gonna scratch that itch, but it's not Diablo. But as like a tower defense game, it's amazing that it is like Diablo because it adds just more for tower defense fans. I think it's a stronger game for tower defense fans than it is
Well, and you can spec purely into your character too.
For sure.
Make them crazy strong, which is something I always ignore in this game. And I was starting to, like when we played last time, I was like, maybe I should put some points in my character. Because I noticed I'd be hitting people and the slowdown was cool, but that was all that was happening.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you could spec your character out to be slowing down and emphasize your traps damage or vice versa. Have your traps work on slowdowns or dots or whatever and have your character just pure damage.
Yep.
I mean, there's really a lot of freedom in the skills in this game. Yeah, so my opinion, I love this game. I am a huge fan of Diablo and loot-based games. Obviously, channel name. And then tower defense games, like I've said before, huge fan of them. They are the perfect area between a full-on couple-hour strategic RTS game and just like a quick pick it up and play game. It gets you right in. You're strategizing instantly. You're micromanaging, and you're just going at it. It's already happening. You don't have to wait and build up for a fight. And this game does both. So I mean, this game was literally made for me with all the loot, the experience, leveling up. It's a game that's really hard for me to put down. Graphically, it looks whatever. It's on the same engine as the Van Helsing games that came out. I played those. They're okay. So for these guys making Diablo type games, they're pretty good at it. But I think their strength here is the hybrid. But I'm not playing for the graphics. And I think I like the visual aesthetic. I think it's interesting. It has a very mechanical look to it. But yeah, it's the gameplay. I love. This is a game that I could probably play 8 years from now.
Oh yeah,
and still enjoy it because the amount of just like I can still play Titan Quest. I mean, like the amount of skill trees and class. Well, there's only 3 classes. That's probably a thing that kind of sucks. I'd like to see this game supported. They didn't really do it. But the amount of loot, different builds, different towers, I have no problem going back and playing the same map again because I want to make the perfect fucking defense. And I'm always after that. It's like the first high. You're always trying to fucking hit that again. Heroin. And dude, the tower defense is really addicting to me, man. I start playing it, I'm like, oh, I gotta be the best there ever was. And yeah, I really like this game a lot. I think it's really good. I think it's completely underrated, but it's at the same time not a game for everybody. And it's also, if somebody says that they're not particularly into it, you aren't even harsh about it. Or if someone's like, I straight up fucking hate that game, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck? I'd just be like, well, dude, I am so addicted to this shit, but I get it. It's like someone saying, like, you eat fucking Jack in the Box, that shit's garbage. I'm like, yeah, but fucking it tastes good. Like, same thing. Like, I really like this game, but I get if people aren't into it. It's very niche. You got to be into this kind of game. But I'd like to see more games like it.
Question, and to both of you, if they were to make a sequel, what would you like to see them do to it?
More classes, more equipment, obviously new maps, but bring back the old maps because I like that. Revisiting stuff, new monsters, obviously just new content. But I think the biggest emphasis is I need more classes. I need at least 2 new classes with skill trees or whatever. New towers. New towers are really important. If you release a new tower defense game, you only have 1 new tower. It's not that exciting. So you need at least like 5. And keep the old ones. Add new skills to those old towers as well to keep them fresh. And yeah, other than that, they nailed it. They got to, and maybe a couple ease of use things. Maybe add some like side quest stuff, because I feel like in this game, well, I don't feel like it is. Once you beat a map, the only reason to go back is to get a better score, but you're not getting more experience from it, really.
Or to play on a harder difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go back and beat on the hardest difficulty, there is no reason to go back unless you want a better score.
Well, it's funny because I went in and I hopped on my original character and looked at the maps, and I forgot that even after the 3 difficulties, it unlocks more stuff and modifiers too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
shit to it.
A lot of ways to play.
And that's why they have it set up to more like a checkpoint basis of progression and not like free form. I can just keep grinding, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Objectives.
Yeah, but that's literally what they could do. Like I said, just to surmise the more classes and more towers and add more skills to the things that are being repeated to keep them fresh. And yeah, I mean, that'd be happy. The new maps is the obvious one. They would do that regardless. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? And also, if you guys are on the same page as me when it comes to classes, what kind of classes would you like to see?
Okay.
I think some kind of necromancer or like summoning build would be cool to have, because then you have more guys on screen to help you.
Yeah, either like a necromancer or to kind of get away from maybe that stereotype, make it more of maybe like a machinist, someone who builds things.
An engineer or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
So
Good idea.
I'd like to see. I always like to see druids in games. I'm a big fan of druids, and like Diablo 2 druids. So it was like you could either
shapeshifter.
do the shapeshifter
Yeah.
or the summoning the animals or using spells.
That'd be cool. And it's not out of the wheelbox anyway, because I think this is based in the same universe as the Van Helsing games, so it wouldn't be too crazy to have something like that. So, I mean, they have a sorcerer, so who gives a fuck?
So the game already has 2 range classes and 1 melee, so I'd probably like to see another melee class. To be honest,
Dual wielder.
Either a dual wielder or maybe someone with like a lance or a polearm of some
That'd be
sort, or even like a martial artist with a staff or something.
That'd be cool. Speak my language.
Just something to add to the melee, because I mean, even when we played, I played sorceress and you played the hunter or whatever, so we're both just ranged people.
They should have Wukong, because everything's got Wukong, and have a staff that extends, like
So you have another range character.
baby Goku, and you're flying around on a Nimbus cloud. And the reason you have that extension in the cloud is because then, because you have the ranged guys who can already hit from really far away, and you have to chase after shit, you can just fly after them and hit them from a distance. Have a move where you extend the staff under their legs and go da 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 da, and like it trips them out and they fall off the.
All right, kill it. Calm down.
I'm excited for Soul Calibur. What can I say? That is a Keelik move. I'm glad you know.
So what could they bring to the game to make you more interested? Then I suppose would be a good
I
question.
think they nailed a lot of that.
it good. That's what
Yeah,
they could
get
do.
Good. That's what they should do. I think you nailed a lot of it. I think extra classes would be helpful. More towers always are needed in sequels to tower defense games, and added skills to older towers. And I always like cosmetics, so like some sort of cosmetic system I think would be really beneficial.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I mean, I could definitely welcome that, because in a game like this, you're looking at your character a lot, and it's cool to see the new armors or whatever. But like, if they did add some kind of like personal customization, they could make the game more social. Because that's one thing aesthetics do in an online game, is make things more social. Because people are now talking about, oh, look what I got on. Oh, you look so funny in that pink fucking onesie. Someone else is like, oh, dude, don't I look cool? And they're like, no, you don't. And they're like, well, fuck you.
Well, and don't even just limit it to the characters. Maybe add customization options for the
traps.
towers and stuff. Yeah.
That'd be cool too. Like the werewolves, have them look different, like
Or
different
just
types of
be
thing coming
something
out of there.
completely different.
Yeah.
Just, it does
I
the same
mean,
thing,
like,
obviously.
If you have like
Zombies.
4 spike traps, you could make like a character theme that has like, trap themes of candy. So like there would be like candy canes coming out of the ground to stab the enemies.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I'd welcome all of that, because especially with the aesthetics, that's, even if it's like candy or whatever, you're choosing to play like that, so it wouldn't really necessarily ruin like the allure of the visual style of the game. So, which kind of makes sense.
So you guys kind of said the stuff that I was thinking. The only thing I would add,
I already thought of this stuff.
that I've only ever seen one tower defense do is a comprehensive story. So
Yeah, that'd be cool. It does definitely lack that. There's a lot of stuff you can read, but I don't do that shit. So fucking, I just skipped over that.
what's the one that was
Defense Grid?
Defense
It
Grid.
has a complete
Defense Grid
storyline.
has a storyline.
that actually has like drama and cool parts. You actually feel like you're doing something for a reason. I love Defense Grid. It's one of my favorite tower defense games, because it's a solid tower defense game. Has great maps, great towers. Really hard ones later, which I love. I love the challenge, because most tower defenses I can play without looking at them pretty much. And it has a storyline that's really interesting and good voice acting. And the second one actually added more.
I still never played the second one.
Yeah, it's good. I never beat it. I need to. I start playing. I'm like, I need to stop, because I'm not gonna be able to stop if I play this. But yeah, tower defense or Defense Grid is cool, because like it's got that storyline. It's interesting. Even the first like level or two, you're talking with this machine AI that used to be a human, but they died, but they uploaded him into a computer, and he's trying to help you to like fight off this alien swarm that's coming. And it's cool because there's like a lot of this nuanced side banter where he's talking about, like, in the first map, he's like, I think my body's here somewhere. Like, he just remembers that was like the battlefield where he died or something like that, or the building he died in. And every once in a while he starts talking about like raspberries and stuff like that, and he misses the flavor of them and stuff. I'm like, we don't need this kind of character building in a tower defense game, but I appreciate it. Like, this is interesting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a huge weakness for tower defense games.
Absolutely.
So
Because they feel temporary. I play when I jump to the next one. Defense Guard I actually go back to and play.
Well, and that's I think kind of it. I think it even with a passable story, it doesn't even have to be great. With a passable story, I think you're going to make a greater impact on people to remember your game. So
you are an early adopter of Bitcoin, and they all want their little grubby hands on your cryptocurrency.
Are we making a tower defense, or are we making an idle click game?
Both. I don't care. Because I'm keeping it relevant. We talked about that on Tasty Tuesday. Go back and watch that.
Well, I didn't, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brandon was there.
Yep.
But yeah. What were we talking about? Lore?
Just what we'd like to see in a sequel. So.
Yeah, no, and I'd be down with that. It's not something that's needed, but it definitely adds value to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and I'd hate to see them change too much about it because I think the formula they have works really well.
I like it a lot.
Expansion and small things. I mean, that's one of the best things about modern gaming. When you play a game, graphics are pretty much you've seen and been done and expect, but it's all the little things that make those graphics really shine. I think that's the same in gameplay as well. So.
Well, yeah, nowadays you can release like a free to play MMO that has like really good lighting and like everything looks shiny, but like that's the engine. It's the details and the work you put into the textures and the intricacies of like what's on a table and like the animations. Are their fingers moving? That's all the stuff that kind of starts adding to the overall value of a visual. Right. So,
and then the same could be said, like I said, in gameplay. I mean, you could going down MMOs as well. You could make the traditional just. Everything's on a global cooldown, and I'm just going to mash these in an order, or you can take it a step further, and like some games have, where this move links with this move, and this one links with this, and this one's situational. You start adding depth. So I don't know why we really went with them most, but yeah.
I don't know. They got a lot of ideas in them.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Scores?
Let's go recommendations first.
Okay.
Obviously, I'd recommend this to anybody who likes tower defense games completely, 100%. If you like them, play this. If you like cooperative games, play this. If you like Diablo games, definitely check it out. But if you're not really too into tower defense games, kind of like what Chris said, you might dig it, you might not. Just check it out. If you don't like tower defense games and you don't really get into Diablo games, you're not going to like this game at all. This is a game that you need to be paying attention to your build and your progress, and you need to be thinking about strategy. You cannot just passively play this game. Even on the easier settings, higher up in the game, you're going to have to think about multiple lanes, upgrading those towers. If you get not easily confused, because it sounds like I'm being a dick, but like if you just don't like a lot of shit going on at once, you're going to feel frustrated in this game.
I'll say there was some of those maps had like 6 entrances for the monsters.
Yeah,
so yeah,
which I love. I'm just like, give me more lanes. Fucking, I'll take all of you on. I'll die on this goddamn hill.
It gets chaotic, and then trying to like figure out the choke points, like where you can best slow them down or even stop them. So, I agree with your recommendations 100%. I want to emphasize definitely this is tower defense first and foremost, and I think even if you're not necessarily a huge fan of that, if you are a fan of co-op games, I think this game is a very good co-op game, and you might find yourself enjoying it even if you weren't a fan of the genre in the first place, because the co-op really does make the game shine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys hit on the head. It's definitely recommended to people who are looking for a tower defense game that's maybe slightly different than what you're normally looking at. A little more involvement in it. I don't think Diablo fans are going to enjoy this too much, though. But I wouldn't
perhaps because they're wanting more.
Shy away from it. Well, they might be wanting more. They might be looking for something that's not quite this.
Yeah. Agreed. Anything else you want to throw on there? Or we get it pretty much?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, grades. Chris, let's go with you.
I'm going to give it a C. Not because it's negative strongly in one way. It is an older game, and that is apparent. But I can't rank it too negatively because of my bad taste for tower defense games. It is a solid tower defense game. The gameplay is interesting in the combination of the Diablo aspects of your character and leveling skills up and things like that. So I'm just going to give it a solid C.
That's a good grade. Especially, if you weren't particularly into it, you can still see value there. So, seems passing. So, Chevy?
I'm going to give it an A.
Wow.
I think this game's a blast. I can always play it. I think the co-op experience, like I said, shines completely, and I love the depth in the skill tree system. The traps are fun, the maps are fun, the monsters are fun. I mean, with the exception of the audio bug I had, I'm not even going to put that against them.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. They're still going with an A, and there's a bug in the game.
I can't really find anything I don't like about the game.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it every time, and I never get bored. So yeah, A.
I'm kind of with you. I'm going with A minus. I love this game. Like you said, I can't find anything wrong with it. And obviously, this is a to each their own. It's kind of nice too that we're not all just agreeing on the same thing, because we do that a lot. We're like-minded. But this is a good example of interests in genre and what people are into. And this is kind of what the channel's all about too, is I want people to be able to talk about, what they're into and differences of opinions and shit. And I love it. It's like I said, this game's made for me. I would go with an A, but there's just a couple things I wish they would have done, like at least one more class, but other than that, like it's got a lot of traps, and they all got skills you can upgrade, and the classes are diverse and have like in their skill trees, they're pretty basic run of the mill classes, but
you can specialize big time with the runes and stuff though.
But you can do a lot of shit with it. It's got a lot of loot, and you're just completely involved. It's a game that I'm not thinking about, oh god, how long am I going to play this game for? I'm just playing it and I'm enjoying it. And for me nowadays, that's really important, because there's a lot of games I play, even like the Plus Club games, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. I played those and I'm just like, okay, I'm getting my time in so I can talk about them pretty much. But I'm playing this game and I'm like, I fucking love this game. So A minus, very strong A minus. I would go with an A, but I feel like it's just, I want more from it, and I already am getting plenty. This is me being greedy, but I think A minus is a pretty good grade considering, because this is an indie game that I don't think a whole lot of people played, but I highly recommend it. It's very fun, and if you're into all the systems that I'm saying I'm into when it comes to this kind of stuff, and you do like tower defense, it's a winning formula, and I think it's better not than Dungeon Defenders, because I love the original Dungeon Defenders, but Dungeon Defenders 2 way fucking better. A lot of things are, but it's great. I love it. It's really good. When we were playing the other night, while we're mid playing, I was like, I already know I'm gonna grade this as soon as we're playing. I said that because I was playing it. I was just like, this game's fun as shit. I love it. It's a it's a game that doesn't look amazing. It's not AAA, and A minus. It's great. Love it. Anything else you guys want to say on Deathtrap?
No, I think we said plenty, to be honest.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's A minus, A and C worthy. So pretty good. There's no reason to not play it. Let us know in the comments. Did you play Deathtrap? What did you think of it? Do you like tower defense games? Do you like Diablo games? Does this sound interesting? Would you play it? Would you not play it? It's very cheap most of the time, so it's definitely worth checking out. Like I've said a million times. And also, I want to do another quick reminder, because I forgot to do it at the beginning of this episode. Plus Club is tomorrow. We'll be talking about Telltale's Batman and Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, which was my game of the year of 2016. But yeah, until then, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider hitting the like button. We'd really appreciate it. And if you want more weekly content, hit the subscribe button. You can always find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter at Tasty Loot Gaming. And as always, thanks for watching.